Turn the volume up. All right. Waiting for the Google Talk plugin to respond. How do I get the Google Talk plugin? Alright, so
I don't know.
We're figuring this out, folks, if you're watching.
Hello. I can hear a slight echo, 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 echo. Hopefully you guys are able to see some of this. Maybe we can open up the Torn live event page and we can see.
Yeah. That is... Try this.
It says push to talk here.
Push to talk.
Push
Hi,
to
everybody.
talk. Huh. We're doing the live.
We're live.
We're
Are we live? Are we live?
We're trying. We're breaking new ground here.
We are technically savvy. More than most people are technically savvy. And therefore, that means we're more ambitious than most other people. So you guys hang tight while we do an ambitious bit of technical rearranging and get ourselves ready to go. While I enjoy a honeydew melon. So sweet.
I see them there. It's a little delayed, but
Okay.
Jennifer's asking, how do we get in?
Let's try this Hangout link for Torn Tuesday. And how come it's not
do I have to
making
hit
it a
start
link?
broadcast up here?
I don't think so, cause that's the Hangout. So we're live.
We are live. Even though that's a bit of a delay, but we're... Wow, there it is. Live video.
Google Hangouts. Let's try this link for today's Torn Tuesday Hangout.
On Google?
On Google.
Okay, so are people seeing this on the page TheOneRing.net/live with Barlaments? Is the Google video built into that?
No,
Okay.
not this week.
Okay.
Ugh.
Hi, everybody.
Let's try this plugin. Give us a minute, folks, while we work this out.
I think I'll tell the Twitterverse what's up.
Oh, I hate Chrome. It never wants you to do what you want to do.
Google Chrome. Not recommended.
Even though we're using Google and everything else. Waiting for the Google Talk plugin.
If anybody can hear, the lower third is backwards. That's actually not Cliff. That's Justin. I'm Cliff, and here we are together.
Indeed.
Here we are having a very fine afternoon. It's just a few minutes after 5 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. And now
Is this the hangout we're looking for?
Is this the hangout? This is the hangout you're looking for.
Let's try a different one. That works. Hangout settings.
Adjust your hangout settings.
It was Hangouts were working earlier today, and then they have a new software, of course, right as we're about to do this.
They want us to let it all hang out at the Google Hangout. So, hi everybody. I don't know if I'm really being heard or if I'm being seen. Using Google Hangouts is something I need to mention. Wow. I need to log into Barliman's on some screen and tell the people who are waiting that it's not happening in that page, that it's happening
Join
elsewhere.
Hangout. Copy link. Let's try this link. Quick Chrome. Chrome.
Okay. Wow. Sigur Rós is giving Radiohead a run for their money with the power of their live shows.
Radiohead?
Radiohead used to be like the greatest live show that you were just going to get, period.
Yeah.
Now, people who are seeing the recent Sigur Rós world tour are comparing and saying, I used to be like diehard Radiohead fan, but now nothing compares to Sigur Rós live on stage. You know that band?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm like, I believe it. I believe there's a certain quality that Sigur Rós has that they bring to their shows.
Have you seen them?
No, I have yet to see it, but I'm getting a lot of comments in the Twitter feed from people who've just recently seen Sigur Rós.
Were they here in LA or were they?
No, actually, they're currently in the UK right now. Next time they're here in LA, I'm definitely going to go. Well, while we're trying to process Google Hangouts, can I just say hello to everybody? I'm sending out messages on the Twitter. My Twatter book is going to have updates for you guys so you can, hopefully be able to join us. Maybe one of you can email me the link of the Google Hangout and I can do a tiny URL on it and I can tweet it so that everybody can actually go to it.
Tiny URL?
Yeah.
What is, I don't know what is it?
Tiny URL is
I know what tiny URL is. I don't know where Justin has set you.
Well, Justin has just tried to launch
it's on
the
the
Google
OneRing
Hangout.
it's on the OneRing Facebook.
That's not enough. If I can get added coverage, I'd really like to get that link for the Google Chrome Hangout page. That's great. That's really, really good.
Oh my god. It's triple long.
Justin has...
Here, I'll email it to you right now, Cliff.
Thank you. Yeah, that really, really long URL.
Yeah.
Thank you. I can do some fancy typing real fast and I can make it tiny, or I can do that on my phone.
But no, I'll turn it into a tiny URL right now.
And thank you. Oh, the beautiful, beautiful Simone Boyce is tweeting right now. I want to have her come in on the show and join us. Was she at our Oscar party? The lovely Simone Boyce?
I didn't see her, but I didn't see a lot of people.
I thought she was going to be there for sure.
Sent.
Thank you. I'm about to send a tweet. I have lots and lots of active chat followers who are in our audience, and they're following updates on Twitter as the first breaking information to find out, what's on, or when's it on, or what's happening. So
there you go. Load.
Wow, Stephen Fry is the king of Twitter. I can't wait for us to actually sit down and talk to Stephen Fry. Oh my gosh, but that's all for the next film, isn't it?
The Google program Google Talk has quit unexpectedly.
All right. Hey, who wants to go see Blade Runner, the director's cut on March 23rd?
Where's that happening?
It's happening at the extraordinary $1 Million Theater downtown LA, where they filmed Blade Runner originally.
Yeah, I've been in that. Where's it? There's like some.
But they're doing a big fundraiser to help save the theater and do some restorations on the building. And so Cinespia, which does the movies at the Mausoleum at Hollywood Forever, they're hosting this special fundraising event. I'll forward this to you.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, Blade Runner, March 23rd. Oh my gosh, it's going to be wonderful. I'll forward this to you right now, F.
All right.
Mr. Efren, Mr. Justin, Mr. Clifford, live on the air, TheOneRing.net. Can you guys see us and hear us?
People are joining.
Yeah,
I just wrote one, yes. I just come up with...
you can see a couple people that just joined.
Yeah, people are joining.
Different email than the one I was using before?
No, Cliff Broadway.
No, for you. You're not using a stickcam address, are you?
So at tech.
You go ahead and type it in. I think I'm turning Japanese. I really think so. Thank you.
Yeah.
I love that song. Oh wow, Tech Zulu, man. Super cool.
It's kind of a big deal.
Is that the tagline?
Yeah.
Is that their logo and tagline?
It's kind of a big deal.
Hey everybody, Look who's here. Smaug is here. Could
So,
you do me a favor and hold him up to the camera?
Chrome
So we can
doesn't work on
Smaug's here.
Chrome.
Yeah, stick his nose in the camera just a bit. Yeah, there he is. Yeah, there's Smaug. And he's got a little... There he is. That's funny. That's exactly right. You guys...
I want to see when you do the eye shot.
You can do that. You can do the puppet thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like from the party.
I love it. Okay, I just sent that to you, F.
Come
okay,
on,
here's
don't
the tiny
crash.
URL. Thanks.
Don't
For
crash,
making it
don't
tiny.
crash, don't crash. Waiting for the Google Talk plugin. I see people. I see people.
I see live people. I see living live people.
Yeah,
there
see?
you guys are.
I'm
Yay!
trying to bring it up on this screen so we can actually watch you.
We can see you guys.
Oh,
That's
way-
great.
Probably way too much bandwidth being pulled in.
Well, no,
Oh yeah. Let's pull some more bandwidth. Turn on your cameras, guys. We love having you here. I'm about to tweet to the Twatterverse what's happening. We're gonna give you a link right now.
Come on, big money, big money. I've upgraded the plugin, and why? Oh, holy smokes! Just let me into my own Hangout. If you tell me that I need to upgrade this plugin one more time, oh boy.
Interesting news from the Hollywood Reporter. A certain artist who was working on the Orson Scott Card adaptation of a Superman story has suddenly and abruptly quit the project. I'm not surprised, because working with Orson Scott Card would make anyone crazy. I mean, you think Ted Nugent is bad, you should talk to Orson Scott Card. Oh, I mean, I love his science fiction writing, but the man is cuckoo. Otherwise, you know, I just enjoy his books separately from his political alignments. Let's just say.
You can't see Cliff or Justin.
I can see you guys just fine. I'm glad you guys can see us. Can they see us? I saw they can hear us, evidently.
Google Plus plugin. Come on. I just want to see the plugin. Cancel changes. Just show me my own.
On Google Hangouts.
Google Plus Hangouts on Chrome doesn't work.
Isn't that funny? Google Plus Hangouts, which should be designed to work most perfectly with Chrome, doesn't work on Chrome, huh? Not Hoogle, Google. Why? Why would I spell it like a Hoogle when I know it's a Google? Google Chromaki.
How many times?
TheOneRing.
Okay, I see. Waiting for the Google Talk plugin to respond. Come on, respond. Hello, Kay Griffin.
There you go.
I guess what we could do is just
How's it working?
put the camera on the other side of that glass and just watch that screen, because it's on.
What screen?
Like we'll see.
Are you just trying to open it up so that you can see?
Yeah, the whole point of this is that we can chat with people.
Well, they are chatting with you, aren't they? Nobody's chatting.
Well, is there a scrolling chat?
There's people.
Yeah, there's a scrolling chat. There's
Oh, there it is.
I'm getting on this screen, I'm getting scrolling chat. On that screen, I'm getting webcams.
The best and the worst of technical jiggery pokery, right here on Torn Tuesdays. Guys, not only do we bring it to you live, but we're making it up.
Bring it
live.
to you blank. That's as blank as it gets. I can't see anyone or anything. Yeah, there's a bunch of people
Trying to get in.
that can't see anything. They're in, but they can't see anything. Let's try.
So, are they hearing us and seeing us? Oh, look. Look at that. Is that everybody coming in?
Can people see or hear? Can anyone see and hear us?
Here. H-E-A-R. For those grammatically challenged.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
That's okay.
Can you hear us?
Can you hear? I'm right here. Hmm.
Nope, not at
Wow.
all. Okay.
Wow. Not working, huh?
Nobody can see and hear us. Let's try this again. OAuth logs in with the wrong account. Uh-oh. Okay. Now we're getting somewhere. Oh, I see a lot of wonderful people.
I see some faces there too, very familiar faces.
Google Talk plugin has unexpectedly quit.
Wow. Uh-oh. What shall we do?
The plugin keeps quitting. Google, get your act together. This is why no one likes Hangouts. Every other service we've used.
Really?
Every other service we've used, it just works on the first try. Ustream, Livestream, Machinima,
And the once great
Stickam.
and wonderful Stickam. What shall we tell the audience?
Try again. Oh. Oh. I see the chat room. I want to see people. Waiting for the Google Talk plugin to respond.
Are you using Safari or Chrome?
Both.
All right, both.
I'm trying anything that works. Is it mega glitchy for you guys?
How cute. How cute.
Everyone keeps muting each other, huh?
Really?
And waiting for the Google Talk plugin to respond.
Uh-oh. It's going to be a wacky show, I can tell. So are they hearing us?
Join. It's waiting for... I don't know if people can see us. We can hear you, but you can't see us.
You can hear us. Really? You can hear us. That's great.
Waiting for the Google Talk plugin to respond. I can see you on Ustream.
Hi, Jennifer.
We're not on Ustream.
No, we're not on Ustream. Not this time. Okay, Sebastian. Hi, Sebastian. They said they can hear us. Okay, if you guys can hear us,
Oh yeah.
oh yes, apparently we are on Ustream. Yeah, it's Zanaseb. Hi, Zanaseb, also known as Sebastian, the hedgehog that everybody loves in the Radagast scene.
Well,
good to see you. And there's Jennifer. And, well, look, we've got Andre. We've got a whole bunch of folks joining us live on the show. Well...
All right, well, you know...
let's continue. If they can hear us.
If you can... Yeah, let's... wait. Well, I guess we can check on our mobile phones.
Neil Brighter Moon says there are lots of us watching you via Ustream.
Okay.
That's great. At the moment, while you fix Google Gremlins. While we fix... Do you know what? I have a Google Gremlin that I'm going to put in the microwave. And I need director Joe Dante to help me out. We should interview Joe Dante. He's very talented.
Yeah, I'm a fan of his.
He's great. Didn't he do... Joe Dante did one of the Jurassic Park sequels, didn't he?
No, that's Joe Johnson.
Oh, that was Joe Johnson. Oh.
Yeah. Joe Johnson was Spielberg's first AD.
That's right. He was first AD.
On most of his films.
Oh, it sounds great. It looks great. You guys can hear us. You can see us. Look, here's our friend, the dragon. The dragon Smaug is here. Here he is. See him. Do-do-do-do-do. I'm going to bring him a little closer to the camera so that you can get a little closer view. This is the dragon Smaug. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Hey, Justin.
Hi.
The dragon's about to eat you. Yummy, Justin, for second breakfast. Yummy, yum, yum, yum.
It's like the ending of the movie. Spoiler.
Justin, for second breakfast. Yummy. Oh, would you like a strawberry, my friend Smaug? Smaug the Golden. Smaug the Golden and his very first strawberry. Okay, we've turned Smaug into a vegetarian. Instead of eating Justin and other human beings, he's going to... delicious. That was so good. I love fresas. In Espanol, strawberries are fresas. Did you know that? Strawberries are called fresas. So I could keep this up all day. I could keep this up all day just to keep you guys entertained. But here we are, live on the show.
Wasn't last week amazing with Billy and B-Cake?
What a show. B-Cake were playing the organs, sitting in my lap. That means they were playing more than one organ during that show. Wow! We had the most talented folks here, and Billy Boyd was very funny and did his little silent dance that he did, and he got the whole band up to do the
That was
little
great.
dance. Yeah, it was really wonderful. Oh, look, is there Pipsquet? And some of our friends. I saw Pipsquet at our Oscar party. That was genius. It was really, really wonderful. Just a week ago, a week and 2 days ago, we were at this wonderful party. Holy cow. We have to make an Austin Powers joke. Why?
Why?
Because The Hobbit, An Unexpected Journey just made $1 billion. I'm going to stick my
Really?
pinky right in my lip.
I think it was the 15th.
$1 billion with a B. 1 billion.
It was the 15th movie in history to do that.
And only the second film out of Peter Jackson's oeuvre to actually make $1 billion. The first time he did it was with Return of the King.
Which I think Two Towers deserved $1 billion.
But no other Peter Jackson movie has ever crossed $1 billion besides ROTK and The Hobbit AUJ. An Unexpected $1 billion. That's what we're going to call it.
That's kind of a big deal.
An Unexpected $1 billion. Wow, look at Box Office Mojo just tweeted this. Even though it's really, really old news, people have been talking about it for 48 hours, haven't they? How long ago did the news break?
Yeah, it was a couple days ago.
Yes, it was a couple of days ago because...
Over the weekend.
Because...
B-Cake.
Not because of B-Cake, but because
B-Cake.
of China. The Hobbit opened up in its last major international market.
Oh, really?
China. And you knew this was coming. It was the very last major territory.
I thought it had already opened over there.
No. The Chinese... Well, it was the second week of release in China. Okay? Second week of The Hobbit, An Unexpected Journey being released in China. And now The Hobbit is the 15th film ever in the history of film to break that special mark, that high water mark. Now, what do you suppose this means compared to dollars adjusted for inflation? Do you know? There's some people who are yammering on our message boards and talking on our discussion threads at the bottom of the article on TheOneRing.net, and they're saying, you know, adjusted for inflation and compared to the amount of hype that was built into The Hobbit, it's a relatively disappointing number. How on earth can anybody say $1 billion, which is over 301 million domestic, over 700 million international?
Right.
How can anybody complain and say that is, quote, a relative disappointment? How can anybody say that? Really, even if you look at adjusted prices for
it's a total
ticket
double
inflation.
standard. Like when
How can you say that?
Avengers made $1 billion, everyone's like, "Oh, yay! Comics are making so much money." And then The Hobbit does it, and The Hobbit had The Hobbit didn't have a lot of feeder movies.
That's right. The Hobbit was standing all by itself,
right?
And it had been 9 years since anything in the movie marketplace had been related to Middle-earth at all. And look, the Avengers had the build-up of not one, but 2 Iron Man movies, and a Thor, and a Captain America movie, which was quite good.
And a Hulk.
Oh, and a... Wait, no?
Well, a different Hulk.
That Hulk movie was years ago, but it did have a Lord of the Rings connection with Liv Tyler.
Indeed.
In that beautiful moment where she's like, I'm just in love with Liv Tyler. I think she's so awesome. But you know what? It was Ed Norton, wasn't it?
Yes.
All right, that Hulk reboot with Ed Norton.
I thought Ed Norton did a good job.
Wonderful. It was really good. And all those fight scenes and the aerial scenes over the slums of Rio, very exciting.
Yeah, I love that.
Great photography, great art direction. Love that movie.
There's a lot of Hulk fans that are geeking out today.
Why? Why are the Hulk fans geeking out?
Because I guess there is a character or a suit of armor in the Iron Man universe called the Hulk Buster that is basically an Iron Man suit that can destroy Hulks or something like that.
Maybe it checks his gamma radiation.
And there's in the new trailer for Iron Man 3.
Yeah.
There's a Hulkbuster.
They see it? Oh, I've seen that. I've seen the Iron Man 3 trailers, all of them. They look really cool.
But the new one came out today, and there is a Hulkbuster suit.
No way.
And I don't know what that means, but everyone's geeking out.
That sounds great. That sounds really, really great.
I wish we had a comic expert here to talk about.
I wish we were in a comic book store where there was comic book experts
to tell us the significance of all those suits in the new Iron Man 3 trailer.
Let's go get Ryan over here.
Really? Really? You guys are awesome.
I'm waiting for the Hobbit 2 trailer. I really thought we were going to get a trailer in theaters, but it's looking like the special edition of, or one of the editions of the Hobbit Blu-ray comes with an exclusive code, so you can log into a live chat with Peter Jackson
and get the trailer online.
And he's going to show the Smaug trailer, Desolation of Smaug trailer, stream it online, just like we're doing here.
But this is a whole new concept. This is an idea to not get people to buy more tickets and go back to the theater,
right?
Like it was previously with the Two Towers trailer tacked onto Fellowship. Do you know what this is, Justin? This is a marketing gambit to increase home video sales, not theatrical sales. Very interesting approach, don't you think? That's very interesting. To me.
It kind of warms my heart. When this thing called synergy, but I think it's rife with technical difficulties. I mean, just look at this. We kind of know what we do. We kind of know what we're doing when it comes to live streaming because we've been doing this so long. And here we are trying to use Google Hangouts. Google, the biggest, and like we can't even get it to work.
And it's
Warner Brothers tried something similar when The Dark Knight came out on Blu-ray, and they had a live streaming commentary with director Christopher Nolan. On launch week, the first weekend that it came out, same type of deal. Like buy the Blu-ray and get this live streaming event with the director.
Yes,
it was a complete disaster. Nobody could get in. It didn't work. It cut out. Like as soon as he'd start saying something interesting, every sentence would be he'd get 3 words and then it would cut out.
Why does that always happen? Why is it like the most interesting parts start to happen, and then like it happens with movies too when you're trying to stream something on Netflix? It's like
and the worst part about it, the system knows, and with the Christopher Nolan thing, it wasn't video, it was an audio track. I mean, the bandwidth is like this big for audio. Like everyone's been pirating music for ages, since 14.4 kilobits per second. Like audio is not a big deal, and they couldn't even get that right. Now they want to live stream a Desolation of Smaug trailer.
Whoa, how's that going to go down? Can you imagine?
And we're having problems with the Google streaming, and we know what we're doing. I'm not saying
we sure do.
So it's
we've got video on Ustream and audio on Google Hangouts. Is that actually the situation we have right now today?
I have no idea.
Are you guys hearing us on Hangouts and watching us on Ustream, right?
I'm trying to open Barlaman's chat. Like it's just everything's choking. Just like.
Well, I would switch to Firefox if I were you. I would never bother using Safari or Chrome.
Firefox is the most bloated piece of junk.
Firefox is always the cleanest and smoothest, and I've never had any problems with it. That's just me.
It's the biggest download. Like Firefox used to be the lean mean, and now it's the gross bloated thing.
Really?
Yeah, it's kind of annoying. Let's try this again. We're about to join the Hangout, and we're about to join Barlaman's chat and Google Talk plugin. Torn 2s. Google Talk plugin crashed again. So I guess this Hangout stuff is for the birds.
It is for the birds, the angry birds.
How do you join Torn live. All right, let's try this again. I just wanted to see you guys. Like I missed the Stickam stuff where we could watch your live streaming cameras and everything like that. So I just kind of wanted to see you guys, but obviously that's not working with this Google Plus Hangout. So $1 billion, and everyone is like,
say it
so
Dr. Evil style. Say it Dr. Evil style.
You already did the
$1 billion. No. Hey, it's a comedy bit that maybe they didn't see, maybe they didn't hear.
But
comedy lives on the show.
Here's but there's a double standard. Like every single other movie that made $1 billion this year was like, oh, Avengers, $1 billion. That means this and everyone get it. The Hobbit reaching $1 billion is like about time.
I know.
What?
That is a double standard. It is a double standard, and
kudos to Peter Jackson for having a reputation of a $1 billion movie. I mean, even Christopher Nolan can't even hit $1 billion. So, but talk about pressure. The pressure for Desolation of Smaug and the third movie to like do even bigger. Yeah. Like people are gonna expect $1 billion each movie now.
Well, people are talking about the fact that Fellowship of the Ring and The Two Towers did not cross the $1 billion mark worldwide. But Return of the King did. It was the very last and the most popular of the three films. So this is interesting, and the heat is on Peter very differently because we've got $1 billion for the first film, and then we've got 2 more yet to go with this incredibly competitive movie marketplace. Don't you think? It's going to be really...
It's just a huge double standard, and but speaking of double standards, what? It just knocked me offline. I don't know why. Speaking of double standards, there was an amazing discussion on our Facebook page this week about Willow coming out on Blu-ray. Talk about fantasy films. If you want to see one of the best fantasy films ever made that is not related to Tolkien, it's Willow.
Yes.
By Ron Howard and George Lucas.
Very well remember Willow. And I remember thinking what a pale imitation of Tolkien it was at the time that I saw it.
Well, George Lucas was trying to acquire the filming rights.
Was he?
And they wouldn't give it to him.
Really?
So, he went out and made Willow instead.
Will Wheaton and Sean Astin and Tara Strong are tweeting each other right now. That's a holy triad of geekery.
What does that mean?
Tara Strong and Will Wheaton and Sean Astin are tweeting to each other right now.
Who are they?
Will Wheaton you'd remember as playing Ensign Wesley Crusher in Star Trek The Next Generation. And
I hate Star Trek.
And Will Wheaton is currently the most popular and active geek on Twitter in the American Western Hemisphere. He is like the Stephen Fry to Americans, what Stephen Fry is to Londoners on Twitter.
Really?
Yeah, Will Wheaton is a major Twitter star and a blogger and a photographer. And he's tweeting with Sean Astin, who you know played Sam in The Lord of the Rings, and Tara Strong. It's funny. They're so funny the way they talk to each other like friends.
So the discussion was that if George Lucas was trying to get the rights to The Hobbit, would it have been a great film?
No.
On the level of Peter Jackson. And
no.
My argument is yes.
My argument is no.
Willow came out in 1988.
Yes.
George Lucas was at his producing and writing prime. Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade is probably one of the most perfect films ever put on film.
Is that the one where he shot the guy when he was doing the swords?
No, that was the first Indiana Jones in 1980 or 82. The Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade with Sean Connery. I mean, it was just that is George Lucas at his best. And so you're working with Steven Spielberg. You're making Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, and you're like, I want to do The Hobbit. I want to do fancy creatures and forests and stuff like that and magic, and they don't give him the rights. So what does he do? He goes and makes an all original concept, his original IP. He owns all the characters. I mean, this is the genius of George Lucas, is that he can take inspiration from anywhere, and if Tolkien estate says no, you can't do the movie, he goes and makes a whole universe of well-developed characters. And some argue that Willow has some of the most important female characters on film. They are not just cardboard pretty girl with an evil vendetta. It's there's an evil queen, and it is from a character standpoint in society. It was it's everyone loves Willow.
Yeah, I love that movie.
Yeah,
I think you want to be more cautious in such sweeping categorical statements, dear Justin. Not everyone loves Willow. I watched Willow and I thought this is an embarrassment for the filmmakers, as a very pale and wan imitation of Tolkien. I mean, you've got everyone's favorite little person, Warwick Davis. Warwick Davis, in this community of little people, which were a pale imitation of the Hobbits and the Shire, but they weren't really. It was like,
I don't think they were a pale
they're like,
imitation.
we're gonna have little people in the film, and we're gonna have it be.
Wasn't he like a little wizard though?
No, he was just
a
little person,
just a little person
living
who was tasked with this adventure.
Who lives he inherited accidentally some magic, like Frodo accidentally inheriting the ring,
and inheriting the glowing sword of Sting. He inherited. So Lucas took a lot of the elements of the reluctant hero that doesn't want to venture out of his home of little people, and he gets forced into this adventure, and he acquires magic and magic powers, and then there's shapeshifters. And Willow was famous for using CG animation to morph people. Yeah. Well, okay, Bjorn, hello, he took all the elements of Tolkien and Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit and made a new original intellectual property that he can own, and
he created a new, barely original intellectual property that he could call.
But everyone loved it, and
what qualifies as original in your book, Justin?
You can own it and you can merchandise it.
It is. It's like,
and YouTube won't sue you if you put it up.
All right. Well, the legal definition of original versus the creative effort that it takes to make something truly original. We have to agree to disagree. I will give him credit for not stopping when someone says no. I will definitely give George Lucas the credit for somebody trying to shut him down and him saying, no, I'm going to keep on going. I'll give him that credit as a filmmaker, but as a storyteller,
he's one of the best storytellers ever born.
He is one of the best storytellers, and he's created some of the greatest modern mythology that we've ever enjoyed. But Willow was not one of them. It had no follow-up, no sequels. There was no no franchise.
You of all people, and the fanboys,
and no follow-up,
and all the fanboys and fangirls,
because they knew the marketplace would not have a sequel for Willow because nobody wanted to see it.
And fanboys should love that. How many people are hating on Peter Jackson? Oh, they're milking The Hobbit. They took a children's book, and make 3-4 hour movies about it. Like, George Lucas respects the story enough. He's like, he took the basically the Hobbit book and made a single Hobbit style movie with a beginning, middle, end.
This is a very appropriate question, Nuala. Very appropriate question. Okay, what we're talking about essentially is the direction that any film franchise can possibly go when the audience, the marketplace, responds in a different way. As it turns out, Warner Brothers and New Line put a huge gamble and a lot of money into The Hobbit. They even agreed to pressure from Peter Jackson to expand from 2 movies to 3 movies. They put a really big gamble out the door, and they made $1 billion on the first film.
I think Peter Jackson was pushing the trilogy
more than Fellowship and more than Two Towers made. But here's the bottom line. What we're talking about is the way critics and even many people who are on our message boards and on the discussion pages on TheOneRing.net, at the bottom of every article, there's a talkback. And you can actually type in and be part of the discussion there at the bottom of every article page. And many people, even today, I was approving and disapproving some of those responses. People are saying, they made $1 billion, so what? The movie was still disappointing, and the relative cost versus the hype versus the marketing costs, you know, they really expected The Hobbit to do much, much more. Do you think it's possible? Do you think that's even possibly true? That Warner Brothers expected the first Hobbit movie to do more than it really has done?
$1 billion?
Domestic, 301 million. 301 million.
$1 billion.
Well, I wouldn't complain about $1 billion in any case. I sure wouldn't.
There's like this huge double standard.
Yeah. What about the merchandising and the ancillary and the video, the home video?
Right.
Hobbit
food at Denny's. You know, Hobbit planes to New Zealand.
Yeah.
You know, Hobbit Legos that are pretty expensive. Those Hobbit Lego sets are not cheap.
Indeed they are.
And Christmas was a little tough this year.
That's funny.
So, okay, here I need to get this rant out. Okay, George Lucas doesn't get enough respect. Lucas respects money in his pocket, says Brighter Moon. Lucas has spent all his money on furthering filmmaking. Who created Pixar? George Lucas. Who bought Pixar from George Lucas? Steve Jobs. He started it. Who created Avid? Who created modern?
I thought John Lasseter started Pixar.
John Lasseter went to George Lucas went to John Lasseter and said, "Hey, I heard you like to animate.
Yeah.
You want to start a company for me?" He's like, "Here's a blank check. You got 5 years to be profitable." And John Lasseter, at the end of 5 years, is like, "Hey, I'm sorry, but we're like 5 years away from making any money." And George was like, "You know, I committed, $10 million to you guys, and I can't keep it up." And so that's when Steve Jobs said,
"Yeah,
I got 10 million here. I'll take it off your hands." And so Lucas spent tens of millions of dollars funding Pixar when they weren't making anything. Avid, the modern editing digital system that enables Final Cut and Adobe Premiere and everything like that. Photoshop. If you look at Photoshop and the first name that shows up when the Photoshop thing, it says Thomas Knoll. And he used to say Thomas and John Knoll. John Knoll is one of the most senior people at Industrial Light and Magic. So you have Pixar, you have Avid, you have Adobe Photoshop for digital effects. This is how they did all those digital effects in the 80s at Industrial Light and Magic. Modern visual effects was all done at ILM. And everybody that started other visual effects firms, they started at ILM, and then they founded their own studio.
And then migrated over to other places.
Right. Guess who's the only visual effects studio still in existence? Rhythm and Hughes, bankrupt 2 weeks ago. Digital Domain,
Oscar-winning Rhythm and Hughes.
Oscar-winning
for Life of Pi.
Yeah.
Bankrupt.
Digital Domain, bankrupt.
That's true.
Yep.
Digital Domain did everything.
Yeah. So
once upon a day,
George Lucas, he is spent all of his money reinvesting in digital filmmaking. Who was the first movie? Everybody hates on Jar Jar, but Gollum exists because Jar Jar happened, and all the visual effects artists. Wait! All the visual effects artists that did the character animation on Jar Jar, that cracked their knuckles and cut their teeth on character animation and motion capture and everything like that, started at ILM, and then they took the lessons that they learned with Jar Jar, what works, what doesn't, and they went and got jobs at Weta. So Peter Jackson hired Jim Rigel and all the teams that worked on Star Wars Episode 1 character animators, and he brought them down, and then they did Gollum and everything else.
Peter Jackson hired a bunch of Jar Jar animators. You may find this amusing because I'm over the moon with laughter right now. That I introduced the article today on TheOneRing.net, and I was plugging the show that was for today, and I described myself as Clifford Quickbeam Broadway in quotes, and I described you as Justin, quote, Jar Jar loving, unquote, Sewell.
I did.
I posted that an hour and a half ago, and you're actually fulfilling that prophecy. You are fulfilling the prophecy of what I just did. Jar Jar loving Justin. Right here. Yes, that's right. Teterus saw that. That was funny. Very good. Thank you, Teterus. Thank you, Teterus.
Okay.
Okay, what?
One of the main reasons I'm a fan of Jar Jar is because one of the first independent...
Misa, no think so!
One of the first independent films I got paid to produce, it was for an Italian company, and they came out to the Mojave Desert, and they did a week-long shoot. It starred the girl from Austin Powers that played a lot of vagina. Oh. And then...
Yeah.
And the male lead was Ahmed Best.
Ahmed Best is very funny, and he's a very talented performer.
He's super great.
He's so cool.
And he knows what happened. Like, he knows
he continues to be embarrassed to this day.
Right. He was just a job, you know?
Just a job. Yep. But nobody says Andy Serkis in the same breath as Gollum. I mean, nobody says Ahmed Best and Jar Jar Binks in the same way that they talk about Andy Serkis and Gollum.
And that
may or may not tell you something.
Marketing. And everyone says George Lucas is all about marketing and merchandising. Well, guess what? Peter Jackson is just as smart. In fact, I know a few people. In fact, I just had lunch with a few people this last weekend that were working on Gollum. And before the Oscars came out for The Two Towers, Peter Jackson called a meeting at Weta Digital. And he took the whole team, and we're talking like 1,800 people.
Wow.
And they got in the main cafeteria. And Peter Jackson went up and said, I just want to let everybody know that for awards purposes and for public consciousness purposes, we're going to promote Andy Serkis as the genius behind Gollum. And all of you guys are doing great work, from the programmers that are creating custom software, which they won an Oscar for.
Yes.
This year.
They won the technical... The only Academy Award they won was the technical sciences category before the broadcast.
Right.
Yes.
So it was a conscious effort by Warner Brothers and Weta and Peter Jackson to position Andy Serkis as like...
Really?
He is the genius behind... But in fact, it was a whole team. And in fact, it was the Jar Jar team.
Okay. It's always back to that, isn't it?
So the question is, the debate was, and it was one of our biggest Facebook debates this week, was would George Lucas have done right with The Hobbit in 1988? And what people fail to remember, Ron Howard directed Willow. George Lucas just wrote the story. George Lucas is a brilliant story man. He can't direct worth nothing, but he can create.
He did all right with American Graffiti
and Star Wars
and
1.
THX.
Yeah,
he did quite all right.
But everything else, like he's a terrible. George Lucas is the only director that could take Natalie Portman and Liam Neeson and Ewan McGregor and make them look like cardboard cutouts. There's always a bigger fish. There's always a bigger fish. Don't get scared. I mean, Liam Neeson is better than that. A 1988 George Lucas would have done Hobbit right, and it wouldn't have been a sequel.
Was he less cynical then? Why?
So
why exactly?
How are people like embracing Peter Jackson, like, oh, milking the Hobbit, 3 movies, really, dude? But then George Lucas would just wanted to do 1 movie and do it right and do it real and not on green screen, and he wanted to shoot in forests. Look at Willow; it's all shot on location. It looks great. It looks real. There's a texture. There's a texture to Willow that you don't get in The Hobbit right now, because The Hobbit was all shot on green screen stages because they had to do the size double difference and everything.
Okay,
like that.
I'll give the technical aspects of Willow a thumbs up, and the photography, the effects work were great. I always love Warwick Davis. Warwick Davis is genius in anything that he does, especially the multiple characters he plays in the Harry Potter film franchise. But seriously, come on.
There are no words in Elvish, Entish, or the tongues of men to describe Jar Jar.
No, there are not. And there are no words to describe the weak, derivative, highly derivative script elements of Willow that are a pale imitation of so many other of fantasy forebears.
I don't think it was a pale. It's a good standalone movie. There's a lot of examples of pale inspired movie. Hobbit or Willow is stands on its own as a classic fantasy film, and I think it holds up. And I think a lot of people may agree that they loved Willow when it came out, and they still love it. And I'm actually looking forward to the Blu-ray. And it stands on its own, and it was obviously inspired by Tolkien.
Yes, it was. Obviously a ripoff of Tolkien. That's another
I don't
way
think
of saying it.
Everybody rips off something.
Everybody rips off everything. Yeah.
I don't know. Look at Neil Gaiman's Stardust. With Michelle Pfeiffer, Bobby De Niro, these great talented people. Watch Stardust again, and you will see almost nothing in it that is derivative of Tolkien or other high fantasy authors that appeared before it. Neil Gaiman, in his greater powers as a storyteller, I'm going to tell you who's a good storyteller right now, was able to extract these elements from old Grimm's fairy tales and old Eastern European folklore and legends and recraft them with a very Anglophile approach, a British approach, and he made something fresh and new that we've never ever seen before, and it was not a weak derivative product of something that came immediately before. It didn't look or smell like Narnia. It certainly didn't look or smell like Middle-earth or any other place we've been before. I mean, this is Neil Gaiman. That is another example I would like to offer for public discussion of where a good fantasy writer can tip his hat in homage to some great fantasy elements that existed before him without cheaply ripping them off. End rant.
I'm just saying that in 1988... In 1988, if you were going to make a Hobbit movie in 1988, that was the dream team of George Lucas and Ron Howard, and they would have done right by it. And it would, because you didn't have Lord of the Rings yet. All you had was this animated Bakshi stuff. And so the first...
Which was a drug trip all to itself.
Right. So I think looking at Willow, if you look at Willow and look at what George Lucas wrote and Ron Howard directed, and can you imagine Val Kilmer as the Beaver, as Aragorn or something like that? You know,
Val Kilmer
as Sean
Aragorn?
How about in Sean Bean's role? You know, can you imagine some of the hot actors of 1988? You know, who would have made The Hobbit work?
Okay, well, since we're going off into Fantasyland of what would have been
what was the Terry Gilliam movie with all the dwarf actors? So you had like capable, very skilled
Time Bandits.
Actors.
Time Bandits, wow.
You had a series of the right age, at the right time, with the right look. And
bye, Sebastian. We love you.
And George Lucas not afraid to push the envelope on visual effects, but still ground it in reality and shoot in real world. I mean, this is before Jar Jar. There's Lucas before Jar Jar and Lucas after Jar Jar. And this is Lucas at his prime in 1988. I would have loved to see...
That would have been interesting. It sure would have been interesting, but we would never have seen the work that Peter Jackson did in the year 2000, in the year 1999 or 2000, when the first announcements were made that they were shooting the Lord of the Rings movies. We would never have seen this. If Peter Jackson...
I'm going to be picking up both on Blu-ray.
If Peter Jackson was standing in the shadow of this hypothetical Hobbit movie that George Lucas had done back in 1988, it might not have worked out the same. It might have been a whole different
Well, The Hobbit was a children's book, and Hobbit is more humorous, you know. All these 80s movies rocks. Time Bandit rocks. Willow rocks. All the Indiana Jones films rock. Like, George Lucas, knowing his place as the creator of worlds and stories.
Yes.
And the hero's journey. Mm-hmm. If he stuck to that, he would be a living legend. But then his ego got in the way and said, I want to direct it. This is my directing thing. So, but as far as George Lucas being greedy, no, he's used all of his money. He used all of his Star Wars money to finance the modern successes. Like he was a startup venture capitalist before there were startup venture capitalists.
That's also
in
true.
Silicon Valley, and he was in Silicon Valley. He was in Marin County.
Let's take a quick look at the questions coming here in the chat room. Murtaugh, Cliff When you were shooting the unexpected briefing for Air New Zealand, did you meet Peter Jackson? No, actually, Peter Jackson was down in Wellington. He shot his scenes completely separately on a green screen, and we were all up in Auckland, or in a very interesting semi-industrial, semi-residential area just outside of Auckland.
Give us perspective. Right now, we're about 6 hours from San Francisco. Here in Los Angeles, we're 6 hours from San Francisco.
To drive? Yeah.
We're about 3 to 4 hours from Las Vegas.
It's less than a 1 hour flight, but it does take 6 hours to drive to San Francisco.
How far is Auckland from Wellington?
Wow. In driving terms?
Yeah.
I wonder. That's a very good question. I wonder how far it is to drive. I've never made the complete drive from
Larry would know.
Larry would. I wish Larry were with us in the chat room.
But
we're
getting tweets and everything like that.
We're getting a lot of
speaking of Willow on Blu-ray, coming out around the same time as Hobbit on Blu-ray. Mm-hmm. There are so many versions of The Hobbit coming out on Blu-ray. And we're slowly
versions. You mean different packaging? They're all going to be the same film.
Oh, they're all going to be the same film, but there's different.
Different.
And so the TheOneRing is working on a cheat sheet, a Blu-ray pre-order cheat sheet. So don't order it yet. We'll have that up in the coming days. But,
wow.
So here,
look at all this.
Here's a few of the things. We have the normal DVD edition.
Okay.
It's The Hobbit, and
yes.
I think a couple bonus features and whatever. You've got the 5-disc special edition Blu-ray. It comes with The Hobbit in 3D. It comes The Hobbit in 2D Blu-ray. It comes with the DVD version. And it comes with the digital download.
The ultraviolet download
on Flickster.
We've just tweeted this. TheOneRing.net has this list out now. It's out for everyone to see.
We were working on it last night. And then you have a disc for bonus features. So that is your typical, you can pick that up at any store, 5-disc Blu-ray edition. That's the one I recommend.
The 5-disc edition?
It's worse than... we thought that Blade Runner was going to be the only film with a 5-disc edition. Remember the Blade Runner director's cut?
Wow.
Fan cut, extreme cut, final cut, original cut, work print cut. The Hobbit's there. So that is available at most retailers worldwide. Best Buy in America has an exclusive Gollum cover, and you will get a digital download code for a 30-minute documentary about the making of The Hobbit, produced by our friends at Pellerin Media, Michael Pellerin.
I love Michael Pellerin, and you guys would be very familiar with Pellerin's work on the big 4-disc fold-out extended editions of the Lord of the Rings trilogy, because it was those extra 2 discs in that extended version that was all Michael Pellerin behind-the-scenes documentaries. They're the best in the business at that content that they make. It's really, really wonderful.
Yep.
And
how
super cool.
So that's the Best Buy. You get a 30-minute documentary and an exclusive Gollum cover. That is the same image, I think, from the Empire magazine cover. Target. It's probably going to be a lot of favorites. You get an exclusive Lego toy. You may have seen some of the pictures of all the actors holding up their little character Legos.
Yes.
Well, there is an exclusive Lego figurine inside an exclusive deep package to hold the toy.
Yeah.
So you get a Lego figure of a dwarf or a wizard with the Hobbit Blu-ray at Target. Walmart has this really neat digibook novel style covering. So if you get it at Walmart, it kind of looks like a book. It's got the spine,
Yeah.
And
it does.
It opens like a book, and you have the DVDs and the Blu-ray in there. It comes with the Blu-ray and a DVD and the download version. So it's a 2-disc, and it opens like a book. The Hobbit, the Walmart version, is pretty fun. For probably the best for kids, because besides the Lego.
Because the packaging. And the Warner Brothers shop, we can buy online.
WBshop.com, our friends are offering a 40-inch poster of the entire Company of Dwarves. It's basically a clip from the big, long JPEG.
The big storyboard mural.
The big storyboard mural. Yeah.
That they did, yeah.
So you get a poster and the Blu-ray version if you get it at Warner Brothers Shop.
That's twice as big as most people's 26-inch television.
40-inch
That is
poster.
A sofa-size mural.
Yeah.
As big as your sofa, a mural to put over your sofa.
The one I'm jealous about is only available in the UK and maybe Germany. We're waiting on confirmation. But only available in the UK, the Hobbit Steelbook edition.
What does that look like?
Steelbook is a metal case, and you might have seen it as on The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
And a lot of like premiere movies have Steelbook. It's a metal tin. It comes in like a metal tin case.
Cool.
So the Steelbook edition of The Hobbit is only available in the UK, and it comes with the metal case and an exclusive Gollum's Cave cover.
All right. I
again,
love that.
we're gonna post. We've just posted all of these images on the OneRing.net. If you go there, it should be like one of the top posts. And then in Canada has an exclusive French edition cover of just Martin Freeman looking back over his shoulder as Bilbo Baggins. And so those are some of the versions that we know of The Hobbit. You got the Steelbook in the UK. You got a French edition in Canada. You've got Target's got the Lego. Best Buy's got the exclusive documentary. And Walmart has the book flip book cover.
So where do you get access to that special preview of?
It's on all of them. On every Blu-ray version. Not the DVD. But the Blu-ray version will have a code. It's going to be a little piece of paper inside the packaging, and it'll have a link to the code with a code to access the live stream.
Wow, that's fantastic!
And
you go.
If you go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/
Oh, look at that.
TheOneRing.net, you will see that we have an event set up for the live stream. You can join the event. It'll send you a reminder. If you've got Facebook on your phone, it'll send you a little reminder like, hey, guess what's today? Coming up soon. So your Facebook, you can add it to your Facebook events calendar. Sneak peek at the Desolation of Smog. Just go to our Facebook page. At the top, you'll see events.
Right.
It's a little dragon eye.
Right.
And it's on Sunday, March 24th at 12 p.m. Pacific. 3 p.m. Eastern, and later on around the world. So you can join our Facebook page.
Noon Pacific.
For a reminder.
Whoa.
So
that's fantastic.
So that's going to be... Those are the editions of The Hobbit coming out. And I'm going to be picking up Willow and The Hobbit Blu-ray. I don't have a 3D TV.
Yes.
So there's no point in
no
getting
point.
In the 3D.
No. You know what? I'm just going to get my copy of The Hobbit Rankin and Bass cartoon, which is getting a special DVD re-release, and I'm going to pick up a copy of that instead of Willow at the same time I get my Hobbit DVD at the stores.
So someone in the chat room is saying, should I wait till all the movies are out so I can buy the Lord of the movies in one big box? Now, if you remember correctly, when the Lord of the Rings came out, they offered a free case for all 3 movies. If you had proof of purchase of all 3 movies of The Lord of the Rings, you could send it in and they mailed you a box. And then they sold that box with the movies in it individually for, it was like $100 or something like that.
Yes, they did.
But that was only for the special editions. Okay, special edition, extended editions. You guys hate on George Lucas. Peter Jackson's even worse than George Lucas. He doesn't even wait 10 years to put out a special edition. He's like, hey, you know what? Buy the DVD in March because in August or October I'm going to give you another one. Like, at least George Lucas lets you pace your wallet out.
But everybody knows this is happening ahead of time. At least it's not like an ugly surprise. The consumers are more informed.
He's milking it worse than George Lucas has ever done.
But George Lucas is doing other things, like removing previous existing versions of the film. The real ones that people want, okay? He's messing around with the videos that are available in the marketplace in a way that is unseemly. Jackson and New Line have never done that, so come on, I'll just say, you have been warned. Buyer beware. Everybody knows that if you don't want to buy the regular edition, and you probably will, because you've got to get your fix, that's great. You know that months later, the extended version will be released. So you can make an informed choice.
I like the idea of doing an exchange where if you buy the theatrical version this month, you can upgrade to the extended edition. I've bought Lord of the Rings many times. Warner Brothers, if you're watching, this could work on a digital download. Keep the digital download code if you buy The Hobbit this month in March.
Yes. And
give us access to the downloadable version or the streaming version, or watch it on your Xbox or PlayStation or Wii with when the extended editions come out. That would be awesome. And I'll bet you, by golly, if you offered for free from the purchase, if you offered for free the extended edition streaming only, people will watch it and then go out and buy it.
Yeah.
Because after you watch the extended editions, there's no going back. Like, that's all you want to watch now.
That's right.
I refuse to watch the regular Lord of the Rings, and I even refuse to watch the TNT version. Like, if it's on TV, it's...
Does TNT cut even more stuff?
Well, it's TV. Like, it's just... Ugh.
Yeah, that's true. And they've ruined the formatting of the image by making it 4:3.
Right.
Which ruins Andrew Lesnie's lovely photography.
And if I recall correctly, Peter Jackson made additional visual effects fixes on a subsequent release.
There was an automobile driving through the Shire, and they had the glint of sunlight on the windshield, and they did a quick fix on that in post-production.
But there were a couple other things. They fixed Gollum. Remember when in the theatrical version, when Gollum, you see him on that ladder in the cave. I think they updated those CG effects on subsequent. I'm telling you, Peter Jackson has been revising Lord of the Rings.
I didn't notice any changes to Gollum at all.
Peter Jackson has been revising Lord of the Rings just as much as George Lucas. So all the hate George Lucas get is undeserved. How come Peter Jackson gets a pass and George Lucas doesn't? Again, same thing on Avengers. How come Avengers gets like, $1 billion, yay, and Hobbit makes $1 billion? It's like, about time. You know, it's just a double standard all around, for and against on different things.
It's kind of funny like that, the way the world is. But let me ask you guys something. We do have the opportunity to make an informed decision as consumers, like we never ever had before, and that is to our advantage. It really is. You guys can save your money for the extended version, or you can buy the regular version now and get the extended version as well later. And if you want to, you can even wait years and years to the end of this whole mega process when there will be a 6-movie ultra edition of everything all together. Yeah. It's your choice. It's your choice. You can do that. But here's the thing. We have some t-shirts to sell, don't we? Perhaps we should we direct our audience to our t-shirt sales? We have some.
No, we don't have anything.
Don't we have some exclusive left over after the Oscar party?
Do we? I don't know.
Oh, I thought we had some shirts we were trying to sell. No, we don't? Oh, okay.
Lucas was changing characters and storylines. I'll give you that. George Lucas made more drastic cuts.
Good point, Kelly.
But again, every filmmaker you hear complains, if I only had more time and more money, and if only the studio people wouldn't have told me what to do and how to edit my movie, I would have made it better and made it the way I want. And George Lucas proved that his way, the filmmaker's way, is not always the right way. And sometimes you need that studio overlord. Peter Jackson had to compromise on a bunch of stuff.
Yes.
On Lord of the Rings. If you watch a lot of the behind the scenes stuff, the Pellerin stuff, there were a lot of compromises. I mean, and it doesn't mean the studio guys were wrong, and it doesn't mean Peter Jackson was right. And a lot of times, people that make movies and finance movies, they kind of know what they're doing because they've been doing it so long.
Indeed.
And
let's remind the audience again, while we're on the subject, of how they're going to get access to the special code to watch the preview of The Desolation of Smaug.
It's only on the Blu-ray edition. Do not buy the DVD edition.
All right, let's be super clear about that, because I wasn't even certain until just today. Mm-hmm. And I don't own a Blu-ray player yet, because Santa Claus ignored my Christmas list this year. I know, I got a lump of coal. I must have been a bad boy. If I buy the regular DVD, I'm not getting squat. I'm going to have to go over to my friend's house and watch the preview, right?
Right.
Okay? So if I buy any of the editions that have the Blu-ray in it, I'll get that
I guarantee you that preview is going to be up on YouTube like the split second that it stops.
How can the technology be transferred over like that? Because it's going to be
and I guarantee you
it's going to be live, isn't it?
If it's going to be live, there are going to be technical hiccups. I'm just saying.
That's correct, Brighter Moon. The DVD regular version will not have the exclusive code. It'll be
I feel like Lucas just wanted to cash in after Star Wars 1. You're absolutely right.
Who said that? Ara Galen?
One of the reasons that the prequels happened for Star Wars is because George's accountants looked at the Lucasfilm empire, Industrial Light and Magic, Skywalker Sound, Lucas Arts, video games, and all this stuff, and they're like, you're gonna be broke in a couple years.
Yeah.
Like, if you're like, make a Star Wars movie, make 3 more, and replenish the reserves.
Yes.
And some people say, oh, that's no reason to make it's show business.
It's not show art. It's show business. True that. True that.
And there's nothing wrong with making a ton of money.
No, as long as you still have some integrity as a storyteller. There's nothing wrong with making a ton of money.
In his mind, he did it his way.
All right, look, the only credit I will ever give, and I hope this is my final word on the matter today, the credit that I will give George Lucas for the prequel trilogy was that it was so politically complex, and the story about what Darth Sidious was doing behind the scenes, disguising himself as a senator, all that stuff.
Yeah.
That was a great Machiavellian bit of storytelling, and it was so weird and so complex that most people didn't get it.
Yeah.
It was very Machiavellian, and it took me to the point of realizing this Star Wars prequel trilogy isn't really so much about Anakin as it is about Darth Sidious.
That's right.
And he's disguising himself as Cypher Dyas and running off to, Camino to order up a clone army, and nobody could figure out what the hell is going on in these movies. But at the end of them, you realize this is a very, very interesting and complex political tapestry that Lucas put together, and I'll give him that much credit. But for the rest of it, his work with the actors, his terrible work with getting performances out of his actors, and the terrible dialogue.
The execution was there, but the
yuck.
Look,
yuck.
Like I said, the story were there.
Yeah.
The character constructs, the world, the environments.
Yeah.
The plot was all there. The execution in I think the dialogue was there too. If they just had better directing, they would have got better performances and better reads out of those lines.
All right, let's go on to this. All right, our friends.
Jenny is saying your younger fellow beast wants the show to end so he can have his laptop to play Minecraft with his buddies. If you haven't seen it yet, Middle Earth Minecraft. Look it up. It's a pay server. I think it's $10 or $20.
Yeah, that's right. They have a specially designed Minecraft server.
And they have built Moria.
Yes.
Moria.
In great detail.
Full scale.
Yes.
In Minecraft.
According to Tolkien's descriptions.
It's stunning. And we're hoping to show that to you on an upcoming episode.
Okay. Ham Sammy. I love you, Ham Sammy, because I just love a good ham and cheese sandwich. And I love that picture you used to have of that pit bull chewing up the Michael Vick bobblehead. That was my favorite picture I've ever seen on Twitter. But for you, Ham Sammy, I will answer your question, asking if the Hobbit extended editions will have appendices and all those great behind-the-scenes materials.
Yes.
Yes, the answer is yes.
100%.
Just like the Lord of the Rings extended editions had all that great stuff that came from Michael Pellerin, who directed the behind-the-scenes. Our good buddy Michael Pellerin was on the set with Peter Jackson Warner Brothers didn't want him there. Did you know that? I'm going to give you guys a dirty inside secret. Warner Brothers did not want Michael Pellerin there, but Peter Jackson did. He said, Peter Jackson said this, I need Pellerin Multimedia and his team because they do the best behind the scenes and supporting documentaries that we're going to get, so I want them on the set. And when I was visiting Wellington and I was there on location during the opening shots where Richard Armitage is screaming out over the gate of Erebor, "Dragon!" I was there that day when he filmed that scene. And you know what? Who was in the background shooting all the background stuff? It was Michael Pellerin, my friend. Great stuff. You guys can expect the Hobbit extended editions to be filled with glorious goodies. We just don't know exactly when they'll be produced and released on the market. We don't know that yet.
And Peter Jackson is smart in that not only does he revisit and fix things just like George Lucas, but Peter Jackson knows that one of the reasons Lord of the Rings is as successful as it is not just because it did $1 billion at the box office, but people watch and watch and watch and watch again. I've watched the appendices probably 4 times.
They're so edifying. They're so wonderful. Yeah. Back to Brighter Moon's question. They're going to be brand new stuff. Brighter Moon.
Yes. The production blog stuff is going to be on the DVD.
The production blog stuff will be separate from the new content that Michael Pellerin is creating for behind the scenes.
On this current Blu-ray and DVD release, all of the stuff that's on the production diaries, that's going to be basically the bonus features, except for the Best Buy exclusive, which you get a 30-minute documentary.
This is great. Hey, Kelly Duck has a surprising bit of trivia. I didn't know that. It seems that Richard Armitage was in Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, as an extra. Wow, I'd like to know where the heck he is. Do you think he's in the pod race scenes, standing in the background somewhere? I want to look for him. Where is Richard Armitage?
I think he was...
Let's ask him. Next time we interview Richard Armitage, we will ask him that question. Oh, by the way, Richard Armitage is going to be doing an Ask Thorin
tomorrow.
Q&A tomorrow.
Twitter.
On Twitter.
Hashtag Ask Thorin.
You can send your questions right now to Official Hobbit Movie at Twitter, okay? And make sure your question has hashtag Ask Thorin. And they're going to do just like they did with Martin Freeman a few days ago, where they were asking Bilbo these questions. You guys, I'm looking forward to that definitely tomorrow.
Yeah. Richard Armitage.
Oh, there he is. I see him. There he is. He's standing behind Amidala in that shot. But actually, that's Natalie Portman and her double.
Actually, that's Keira Knightley.
It's Keira Knightley pretending to be Natalie Portman. Oh, wow. That's pretty cool.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like, George Lucas, like, he's casting Richard Armitage before he did North and South. He's casting Keira Knightley before she had done anything.
Before she'd done anything.
You know, like, George Lucas knows story. He knows how to cast. One of the reasons Star Wars worked is because he cast it right. He cast the innocent Mark Hamill. He cast the Han Solo Harrison Ford. He cast it right. Oh, speaking of... Did you hear that?
Wait, Murtaugh is confused. The other documentaries that were created, Murtaugh, were created by our friend, Costa Botes. Those were completely different set of feature film documentaries that were independently done besides the video content that Pellerin Multimedia did.
Yeah, again, the Costa Botes documentaries was basically another guy on the set that's like, hey, I'll get you access and I'll pay you a couple bucks to make this. He edited, he went and filmed, he got access, he went and filmed, and then the idea was to edit that behind the scenes and sell it back to Warner Brothers for inclusion. And Warner Brothers said, we don't really want to pay for that. And then only afterwards, on the latest release, he was like, well, I'm not making money off this anyway, so, you know.
What a fascinating
a re-release with special edition footage behind the scenes? Oh, who does that?
Lucas.
Peter Jackson.
Okay, point taken. Guys, you've been a wonderful audience. Yes. Really great show, and I'm really thrilled that you can half see us and half hear us through 2 different streams of media. But I'm really, really happy to have everybody here in this chat room with us today. It is now 6:30, And I believe we have reached the end of Torn Tuesday this week.
So check out TheOneRing.net. We've just posted. It's at the top of the page. Our Blu-ray buying guide for The Hobbit. You can see all the exclusives from around the world, the UK edition, the Canada edition, all the retailers. I think Japan's going to get a really neat edition, too. They always get
the coolest. You know what? My favorite edition of The Lord of the Rings is my paperback Japanese edition. They have split The Lord of the Rings into 7 miniature paperback volumes. 7. And the appendices are all stuck.
We miss Stickam too,
in different
Jenny.
places of them. Yeah,
we really miss Stickam.
We do miss Stickam. Yeah, that's right.
So thanks for watching. Again, we just hit 90,000 followers on Twitter. Thank you so much. It's been such a big pleasure. And we hope to keep that up. Let's hit 100,000 before the Blu-ray comes out.
You guys can follow TheOneRing.net on
Share
Twitter.
It. Tell all your friends to
Please
follow us.
Tell your friends to follow TheOneRing.net.
And join our event on our Facebook page. You can under events, you can see our Desolation of Smaug preview. Cliff and I will be there ready to give immediate commentary as soon as Peter Jackson does. We're going to go live.
Yes,
and we're going to analyze that as best we can.
I need to schedule a day off from work, and I will do that. I'm sorry, Martin. Martin, we do not have any news about T-shirts. We don't have any new news about T-shirts.
We can agree to disagree. I'm always happy to disagree with people. In fact, I prefer disagreements rather than agreements. I'm an open mind, and I just want to close this week's George Lucas Conversations. Willow's a fantastic film. On its own. Willow is a fantastic fantasy film on its own. Willow is a fantastic, unique fantasy story created by a uniquely talented fantasy writer. And I think George Lucas would have done right by The Hobbit.
And I will leave that little bit of pearl.
Until then, the balcony is closed.
I will leave that pearl of wisdom untouched.
Statler and Waldorf.
I will say nothing else. Yes, Statler and Waldorf. Are you still on the stage, Bear? So, you think you've got a joke that's funny, huh, Bear? Anyway, I will leave that pearl of unwitted wisdom for you guys to chew on, and you guys can go and grab your copy of Willow if you want. Me, I'm going to go rewatch The Hobbit, An Unexpected Journey on my Academy Screener copy. I'm going to memorize a few more lines of dialogue so we can have more fun with our special guest who may be with us next week. She is called Leith McPherson. To everyone who works on the Hobbit movie set, she was the dialect coach. Dialect coach who taught all these actors to restrain themselves from their usual dialect and bring their dialects more in line with who these dwarves and who these characters were. And yes, Aragalen, I did listen to the soundtrack, and I've been noticing many, many differences between the actual soundtrack that was released and the version of the music that's in the film. There's some noticeable differences in between those.
I know. Track 16, Qui-Gon's Noble End. Like, total spoiler.
Oh, come on. I'm talking about The Hobbit. Here we go.
We'll see you next week, folks.
And we'll probably have special guest Leith McPherson coming to us live via Skype. Yeah, Liam Neeson. I mean, Leith McPherson.
Leif Erikson?
Yeah, here we go. And we're gonna talk to her about what does it take to make a dwarf sound like a dwarf. Thank you guys for joining us. It's been a lovely show.
And I'm going to turn it off right here.
He's going to go turn it off. We love you guys, and we'll see you next week on Torn Tuesday. Ciao for now.